Good morning, everybody. Joseph Robert, the Fantasy Football Counselor. Last-minute news and notes for Fantasy Football Week 2, guys. I am beyond excited. We are full flow Fantasy Football. Week 2 is finally upon us. Beyond excited. I can't wait for Sunday mornings. There's so much to talk about here with the latest news and notes here. Some injuries. Injuries is the main thing I like to cover here to help you guys with your starts and sits. This is very, very important, so I try to condense it all here in this short episode so you get that last-minute news and notes. Now, I do record this early in the morning, around 8 a.m. Eastern time, so up until the minute, there may be some changes, but at least this will get you guys completely caught up, okay? As soon as, as close as possible to the time. All right, so make sure you guys smash that thumbs up. Really helps the channel. And leave some fantasy football starts and sits questions below. I'll try to get to as many as I possibly can. But I'm busy Sunday morning. I do a virtual tailgate. I'm answering starts and sits to some of the premium customers here and listeners. So, guys, please leave your questions below. I'll try to get to as many as I possibly can. And smash that thumbs up. Also, guys, virtual tailgate at 11 a.m. Eastern with all the top influencers from every NFL team YouTube channel. Guys, these guys are influencers putting pro football news out there for you guys. They cover all of the pro football teams, so make sure you guys follow Fan to Fan Network below as well. We go live at 11 a.m. at FTFN on YouTube. All right, so let's get to this, guys. Latest news and notes. First and foremost, Jack Doyle here. He is ruled out. So I'm seeing an inflation, guys, in guys like Paris Campbell, potentially. Michael Pittman was a little banged up as well, but definitely T.Y. Hilton's going to see some more volume. So ankle, Jack Doyle is out against week 2 against Minnesota. Colts, Vikings, should be a good game. James Conner, his ankle is bothering him. We saw him come off. We saw Snell take the reins. Now, apparently, he is playing. That's what we're hearing. James Conner is playing. And understand, guys, if he doesn't play, he could lose that starting job because Snell looked good. Again, similar to other guys in the past, it's a good offense for running backs, good O-line, and they get opportunity. They run wild there in Pittsburgh. So James Conner understands the urgency of him playing. It looks like he will be playing. And Steelers relatively loyal to their starting running backs, okay? Also, guys, very important, you got to note this, Kenny Golladay is out. His hamstring is bothering him. And understand, guys, if you re-aggravate a hamstring injury, it could continue to linger. So I think the Lions making the right decision here. Caution on the safe side here, making sure that Golladay is preserved. He will be out. So very notable injury here for a fantasy-relevant player. Kenny Golladay is out for week 2. Okay. T.Y. Hilton was non-injury, but he did not participate in practice Friday, but he should be good. He is not on the injury report, something to note there. And there's several other guys that just did not participate, but again, it's not injury-related, so don't worry. They should be good to go. Okay, George Kittle, knee. We saw the hyperextension of the knee last week. He has been ruled out for week 2. You need to note that this is very, very important if you are a Kittle owner. Now, I'm personally not a Kittle owner. I don't invest in a tight end that early into a draft, a guy that I stayed away from completely this season. And then you can see that tight ends are doing well. We had Jared Cook have a pretty good week 1. Hawkinson have a good week. So you don't really need to invest in those tight ends early. I'm telling you, you're going to get a ton of value late in drafts, and hopefully this is another learning lesson for you guys, okay? Henry Ruggs, a lot of people asking about him. He's listed as questionable for week 2. His knee was bothering him. Be cautious if you want to consider starting him because, again, there's a chance he might not play. He is questionable. Michael Thomas, he is out still with that ankle. Again, it's a high ankle sprain from what I heard. Out for week 2. Very important pick here. Again, this is a guy that was drafted top 8 overall, top 5 overall sometimes. Coming off this pinnacle year. I mentioned there'd be a decline. Yes, injuries count. So he's already lost 2 weeks for you guys. And this is why I like to go robust RB early on. So Michael Thomas is out. Very notable. Another very notable injury. And by the way, you guys got to use some common sense here. When I say these guys are out, maybe Sanders' value gets inflated. Jared Cook's value gets inflated, right? So you got to look at, when I'm telling you these guys are out, maybe for DFS, when you're looking at your daily fantasy lineups, you could consider plugging in a wide receiver that's going to step in. Okay, we're going to give you another example right now. Chris Godwin, he's out, concussion, right? Was ruled out for Sunday's game against the Panthers. Guess whose value goes up potentially? Mike Evans, right? So you got to use some common sense here, guys, and take a look at the situation. Oh, this is a little bit not injury news here, but it is latest news and notes, and that's what we talk about here. But Tariq Cohen signs a deal. Now, I think this is the biggest waste of money that any team can spend. Tariq Cohen, guys, reality check, is not good. He's a pass-catching running back that can't catch the ball. They tried to run him last year on 3rd and 1. He ran negative yardage every time. He's not good. So apparently Tariq Cohen did sign a deal from what I heard, or they're finalizing the deal. It works out to around just under $6 million a year. I believe it's 3 years from what I'm hearing. Again, huge waste of money. They haven't even paid Allen Robinson yet. I think they're working out a contract extension deal with Allen Robinson as well as we speak. But what a waste of money. Tariq Cohen, I don't like the guy. I don't think he's talented. I don't think he's good. It is a huge waste of money, in my opinion. All right, Philip Lindsay, Toe, did not participate. Another guy afraid of losing that starting job. Not that he was really the starter anyway. It was Melvin Gordon. But Melvin Gordon does have a tough matchup this week. But when you look at Philip Lindsay, a guy that really didn't want to sit out, he's got, I believe, turf toe or something like that, ruled out for week 2. So fire up Melvin Gordon, although understand Melvin Gordon has a tough matchup. Again, guys, Emmanuel Sanders, you may want to consider him here as he was a non-participant. Again, I was talking about players not participating in certain practices. He was non-injury. He did not participate Friday, but he's going to eventually this week have a bigger role in the passing game with Michael Thomas out. But I do like Jared Cook getting that goal line or that red zone work, okay? Corey Davis was a full practice. Now, he's another guy that could go up because A.J. Brown has been ruled out. So you need to note that A.J. Brown also out. And as you know, guys, other guys you want to make a note here, Frank Gore should be starting this week at running back for the Jets. Those guys are a disaster. We know Crowder is also out as well. So a guy that led the team in targets, Le'Veon Bell out. They literally have no weapons, the Jets, this week at all. I mean, Frank Gore is your starter. I don't know what else to tell you here. I mean, that's why they got him as a old, reliable backup. But, I mean, this is a disaster, a complete disaster. I'm not even going to watch a Jets game. All right, and Miles Sanders is going to be playing. Now, if you heard the news, been following the news, we hear that Devontae Freeman has been working out with the Eagles. So if he ends up there, that's really, really going to buzzkill. And I'm telling you, it's really going to buzzkill the value of Miles Sanders if Devontae Freeman ends up there. A complete disaster, okay? Something to note there as well. Courtland Sutton is questionable for this week as well. Keep him on your radar. He could come in. If not, Judy should get a ton of volume this week. Brandon Ayuk, wide receiver. Another team that's completely banged up is the 49ers. Hamstring. Fully participated Friday, but is not on the injury report for week 2. So Brandon Ayuk could get some work this week as well, okay? So I think I covered most of them, the most important ones, the biggest injuries going into week 2, from Galladay's to Godwin's of the world to Michael Thomas's. Those are your big guys here that are out. And you need to be aware of that and adjust accordingly. And this is why I tell you to draft depth. And as you can see, and as you're seeing the pattern here, there's a ton of volume at tight end and wide receiver. And you're seeing wide receivers step up. Like Robbie Anderson outperformed DJ Moore, a guy that I got late. Is that going to continue? We don't know. And that's why week 2 is such a great week, because we get to really, really feel out how things are going with players, what's going on, and also teams. A lot of teams could potentially fall 0-2 that are good teams on paper. Atlanta Falcons, Dallas Cowboys, right? One of them is going to fall 0-2 this week. So you really need to watch the situations, this week, who's getting the volume, who's not. Look at situations, look at injuries, look at who's coming up, and you need to stay sharp on the waiver wire for week 3, okay, guys? So that's it. Latest news notes for week 2. Going into this, and again, join us for the virtual tailgate at FTFN Network, guys. It's going to be super exciting. All the top ambassadors there that represent every team. Guys, I'm beyond excited. Fantasy football week 2 is here. Now, I don't know how you guys watch it. Leave a comment below. How do you guys watch the games? Because I find there's just so many games on at one. I find I literally have like the red zone on, and then I kind of just have my laptop on, and I kind of go through certain games because I got the streaming pass. And I literally go through all of the games, kind of like, okay, well, this guy's not on timeout right now. These guys aren't on commercial. So I'll go to that game. I really want to see that fantasy relevant. And then I constantly have the stats refreshing, and I'm watching all of the stats all at once. So I'm curious to see how you guys watch the game, because, yes, I love all of the action on Sunday, and I love it, but sometimes I like it when it's just like the Monday night. And we got a good Monday and Sunday night game this week, but I kind of just like it when it's like one game. Like Thursday night, I can just focus on that one game. But the problem with that is if it's a boring game, then you're kind of stuck watching it, like, oh, I wish there was another game to put on. But the problem with 1 o'clock is just there's so much going on. It's like information overload. This is happening, this is happening. That's why I like the red zone. So I have that going, and then I'm constantly panning through different games as we go. I wish I could consume every game individually. I wish I could. And there's the option to go back and watch each game after, but I just think that's just too time consuming when I know the results. I like to watch any sport live. I hate watching sports that have already been done. You got to watch them live because that's the best type of experience, and that's the way I like to watch them. So leave a comment below with your starts and sits questions. Smash thumbs up and let me know, how do you guys watch the game? I'm really curious to get some feedback from you guys on how you watch them. Love to hear it. And again, thank you guys for being here. Week 2 is finally here. I'm excited, and we will talk soon, guys. Thank you. I'm out.